No, it's actually a factory subwoofer location that doesn't have a factory subwoofer anymore. And we're trying to keep the rear deck as rigid as possible. We've never had a factory sub, it's just a big piece of foam that goes there. And so he's just making it more rigid. The reason why is because, like, in some situations it makes sense, like if there's a big piece of foam, let's pull the big piece of foam out and help the subwoofers vent up into the car, right? That seems like a really logical idea. Mm-hmm. However, if the rear deck isn't perforated for it, and there's no way for that air to get into the car, then what you run into is when you pull that out, you just have a rear deck that rattles more. And so we're trying to keep the rear deck from just smacking the crap out of everything in the car. So he's filling in the holes so that it becomes more rigid like the rest of it. So this is a Paul job. This has nothing to do with us. So Paul booked this. And what we got going on is a 2022, I think, Camry. 2022, 2023 Camry. Has these two excess power batteries in the trunk, already mounted. And they were wired up, but we immediately disconnected them because there was only one fuse holder for all of this, and it was just hanging out right here. And so we're like, okay, that's cool, no big deal. So pop the trunk, saw these, we're like, neat, this was not here. And then we pop the hood, and we see that he removed his batteries to the trunk, which is cool. He's got a high output alternator, apparently, according to Paul. But there was no fuse holder here at all. So go team no fuse, but it's an awful long run to just kind of take chances, as it were. So the first thing we did was put a fuse holder here, and then we main fuse in boot. So this is not the main fuse. Like if you disconnect this is just going to spark if one of these were to touch. So we made this here so that all this is doing is protecting the vehicle, so that if something shorts out, it's not burning all the way to the trunk in order for that to happen. Okay. So that's not a good thing. Is he doing that battery isolator thing? No. No, he's not. So anyways, so these are technically the batteries for the car because there is no battery underneath the hood. So he has his 0 gauge, and it goes through the firewall. Nice grommet. That's cool. But what we wanted to do is put a fuse holder here, one for each battery. So you have left battery, right battery, left battery, right battery. And then we made another sign that says, remove all fuses to disconnect batteries. So if for some reason, like right now, there's no fuses in there, so the power is off on this car, if you need to do that, this is where you need to pull these fuses. And it's a redundant fuse, so there's 450 amp fuses in here to protect, so if one blows, you still have plenty of fusing to protect, to get you home. Now, out of this, because this is our fuse junction, is what's going to go to our amplifiers. And these have fuses in them already because they're not going to be, there's nothing connected to them. So it was just easier to do it. And this is a 0 gauge, it's going to go off to the sub amp, and a 4 gauge, it's going to go off to the highs amp. And then there's a small wire that's going to go off to the DSP and epicenter, which will have, so this is like a little 15 amp fuse. So that's pretty cool. And then how he had this connected is he had this coming up to here and then this going across to here. And he was using excess power or CCA fuse 0 gauge. So we immediately pulled that out. And I prefer this method as opposed to like just going, I mean, you could, it's this, but to me, they both have their own ground. It's, in my mind, way smarter. Just like these batteries both have their own fuses, because if this battery goes bad for whatever reason, I need it to get itself out of my system, right? So I need it to, like, you know, if one of the plates inside of this battery for whatever reason decides to short out, I need a way for this to isolate itself out of the car, you know, from my electrical system. So to do that, you have to fuse each battery, and that's what we have going on here. So he will be running these right here. He's got two T1 12-inch subs off of a Rockford BD 2500. So that's his box and his sub. So he'll be running those. So like I said, supposedly he has a high amperage alternator, which is cool. So that'll get these guys going. But before we started, we wanted to make sure that this was all taken care of, because, you know, you need proper fusing in your vehicle in order to protect the car. Ooh, look at that. I hit my head on the hood, so now I'm bleeding. That's cool. That was the ouch. So these are good. These are mounted. He also had a couple holes back here. We filled those in. One of the things he's having us do is he's got some Dynamat. And he wanted us to Dynamat this. So there will be a cover that goes back over it. He just left this off for now. So it covers all of this area here, so you won't see any of this. But how many sheets did you use? Quite a few. Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah. It's amazing how much, like, you can get into this thing. Weighs a ton, so it's definitely a lot of Dynamat inside of there. So cool. Now he's working on the rear deck. Yeah, thanks. So we're working on the rear deck now. He's getting all this done. So the BD 2500 is going to be mounted somewhere in this area here. Haven't built the amp rack for that yet, but it will be somewhere here. And then there's a amp rack that is right here. This is going to be for the DSP and the epicenter. And then this will be for the highs amp. So before we pulled the seats out, we built the amp racks because we knew we were going to be pulling the seats out. And then he'll be getting a radio. So Metra makes a radio for this car, or dash kit for this car. It's for the Pioneer 9-inch, which I'm like, ugh. So we are going to be modifying that, or the dash. Haven't decided which one yet. This is the radio bezel. So this is what it looks like here. So it's got this big hole. Single DIN goes through there. But the plan is, is to put the new 1058 XR in there. So I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. Not real worried about it. But it'll get a 1058 XR in there. So data connection. So we'll figure that out in the next day or so. Probably sometime tomorrow I'll have to figure that out. Today has just been sound treatment and getting the power straightened out so that we can hook up amplifiers. Hey, what can I do to make my trunk stay up after installing sound deadener on the lid since it's heavy? Any recommendations? Okay, so depending on how talented you are, the easiest way to do it would be to put some kind of a gas strut, you know, the kind that you typically see underneath this, is to put some kind of a gas strut in there. Most of the time to do that properly though, you need to weld in little tabs so that you have a nice firm mount. But that would be really the best way to do it, is to add a gas strut to it. I'm listening to you on SQology podcast right now. That was a fun podcast. We did. So for DSP, we are going to be he bought a DM810. So he's an audio controlled DM810 into an LC6 1200, and then an epicenter into the Rockford the big BD 2500. So this was his ground wire. Apparently excess power, the XP Flex, is 1090, so 10% copper, 90% aluminum, so that came out. We don't want to use that. That's not good, especially for ground. It's kind of stupid. Afternoon, my dude. I hope you had a good weekend. Thank you, Chris. I hope you had a good weekend. Oh, yeah, Kenwood. Yep. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Yeah, it wasn't bad. Check my Instagram for gas strut mod. I did. Okay, there you go. But yeah, that would be what you'd want to do for that. So for this, they don't. So I was kind of hoping he'd want to do the 8-inch, the floating 8-inch. But Paul sold the 10-inch because I'm 100% sure I can modify that dash. This dash right here, we can modify this to fit the 8-inch. No problem, but they're gonna do a 10-inch. The 10-inch will probably sit somewhere out here. We'll figure that out later. When are the Modus head units dropping? I honestly have no idea, man. I have no idea. I think you can go on their website and subscribe to their email, because I know they're actively putting out email stuff. That'd probably be the best. Your head is bleeding. Yeah, I ain't got time to bleed, man. Yeah, I know. I could put a little piece of tape on there. It's your head, though. What are you gonna do? It hurt. Hit it right here on this stupid corner right here. Ow, that one. Right? Yeah. Sucked. Anyways. So that is what is going on today. We have the interior out of the car right now. So radio's out of the dash, seats are out of the car, batteries are disconnected. Center console will be coming out at some point because this will be the DM810. That'll be the epicenter. Out of the head unit into here, out of here over to there, and then back to there. So right now the plan is come down through the center console, connect in here, front rear sub. Come out of here, go over to there, 6-channel over to there, because it'll be front tweeter, front mid, rear. And then out of here, back to this. So it'll run along here to the subwoofer, because the power, I'm hoping the power will be on that side, the RCA will be on this side. That's my plan, so it's going to have to be that way. I just don't know how it's going to mount yet. Yeah, that's basically it. That's where we're at. He's just having a blast getting the sound treatment in.
Oh, this is the best.
Best ever.
Oh my God.
Best day ever.
Yes.
So, any installers you recommend for tuning a DSP in Arizona? What kind of DSP? Okay. Hello from Austin. What's going on? Crazy glue your head and keep it moving. I wouldn't even bother with that. I just let it bleed. It looks cooler. They posted the Mobis Marine stuff will be available this summer. They do have Marine head units. Yes, they do.
Yes. The Marine is gonna be the first.
Is he doing rear seat entertainment in this car? No. The only thing he's doing is a set of... Fernando, do you know what speakers he's doing?
Yes, actually.
Hold on. What speakers is he doing?
This one is gonna get a set of Morel Tempo Ultras.
Yeah.
In the front, nice components, coaxials in the rear doors. They sound amazing. If you want to look at them, go to morelhifi.com. That's the place that you can find the specifications of that tweeter, because Morel actually published the specifications for every single speaker that they made. So morelhifi.com is the place that you can find your crossover points for your tweeters, for your Morel tweeters, of course. And here on Instagram, Morel_America, and on Facebook, Morel America Inc. So price points are up there. 5 minutes with 5 stars.
Oh, he takes his job so serious. Yeah, so tomorrow we'll take a look at the speakers once we get the doors off. We won't be getting those today. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow once we get there. He's so serious, love it. Yeah, he gets paid, so it's a paid advertisement. Gotta represent the brand. I was gifted an 8-channel VXI jail audio amp. my plan is 3-way active up front, 2-way in rear, going in a 19 Sierra. Any thoughts? Yeah, I mean, not big VXI guys. We're not JL dealers, so we don't do a lot of them, but there is one that sticks out of my head that we did in a Porsche Cayenne, where we did a 3-way set up front on channels 1 through 6, and then on 7 and 8 we bridged it to some form of a subwoofer. I don't remember what it was. He went with GS or GB audio frogs all the way around in there. Was it GBs? Yeah, it was some GBs according to Fernando. Things sounded amazing. He loved it. We had a great time with it. So yeah, it can do it. It can do it. It's a fun little amp to do for sure. Do you have any experience with the Audison Voce 2s? No. I've seen pictures. I think I might have held one in Canada, but no, it's kind of not on our radar that much. Love my Morel. Still glad you guys told us about the giveaway they did a few Christmases ago. Oh, fantastic. Have you guys done any blam lately? I don't know if you carry it. No, we do carry it. We don't do a lot with blam. Yeah, it's just not as popular. A lot of people like Focal, man. I mean, it's kind of the go-to. But no, we do have blam. There are occasionally people will come in and want it. We do it. So I know we have a job coming up later this year that's getting a pretty big job, and he's getting all blam. So that ought to be fun. Sensitivity or SPL, do you use these when choosing speakers? I personally don't, but when I'm designing a system, I kind of keep that in I don't talk about it, so to speak. I just keep it in the back of my head. Obviously, experience is really what it happens. That's why, I'm all about a controlled end result. Like this, we didn't build this system. It's all good stuff. We have a DSP, so that's its saving grace. It's going to be way too bass heavy. I mean, it has 2,500 watts on 212s, and he has Tempo Ultras. So it's going to sound fantastic, but the bass is going to be way up here when he goes crazy on it. So yeah, I don't know what his goal was for this, but I hope it was a lot of bass and no mids and highs. Is Seth Vox going to stop by? I got to talk to him. We need him to. Morel or Hertz speakers? There again, I'm a Morel fanboy, so I'm always going to say Morel. They're both great speakers, though. They're fantastic speakers. Very similar as far as functionality, fitting. They're both silk soft dome. So yeah. I'm so shopping, Dean. I've grown out of my DSR1. So if you've grown out of your DSR1, okay, but you still need iData compatibility, and you don't want to break the bank, I have a DSP for you. I know what you're saying. Really? Now, if you want to just plug in and kind of keep the same form factor, you can do the PSM Pro. You will need an AR adapter from iData, but otherwise it's the same harnesses. You literally just unplug your DSR1 and it plugs right in. Hang on, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, we gotta do the video on the power base. Keep forgetting about that. Add that to the list. It's done in the next couple weeks. All right, hang on. So this is the PSM Pro, and this is the device here. If you notice, these plugs look very similar. So this is it, and like I said, these plugs look very similar. They are identical in functionality. The difference is this has 6-channel input, whereas the DSR1 has 4-channel input. So you probably don't need to change that. So what it does is it has the front and rear, just like the front rear plug. But if you plug a DSR1 into it, the aux input plugs are your 5 and 6. So it's the same thing here. And it still uses the orange SPDIF cable in. And then this guy, which is this is the same as a DSR1. So literally you can just unplug this from your DSR1, plug it into here. You don't have to redo the RCA harness or anything. It literally doesn't get any easier. All you have to do is flash this thing, and you have all the DNA software from Arc Audio that you can go to town with. It's all set and ready to go. So if you're trying to put it in the same place as the DSR1, the PSM Pro is definitely going to be the one you want to go with, because it will go right in. All you need is the AR module, and you're all set. Flash it, smack it up, flip it, rub it down, you're all set. Now, if you're like, no, I'm going to go crazy, I want to redesign my area, I want to go a little bigger, I want to do something else. All right, so that gets you into this guy, which is the new, which we'll be doing an unboxing of this tomorrow. You'll get to see the unboxing, and we're going to walk you through it. So this is the PS6 to 8. I should just leave it out of the bag, because Lord knows I'll talk about it enough. It doesn't need to be in the bag. Let me get that out of this now. This guy is going to be, if you want a big boy DSP that everything plugs into. So here is your 8 outputs. Here is your 8 inputs. Here is your remote control for the subwoofer level if you want it. And then on this side, right over here, is your iData input. So there again, you need an AR, and the AR will plug into this, and you'll be all set. And that's it. So this will get you 8 out. It has Toslink as well as digital coax, just like PSM Pro. But 6 inputs, 8 outputs, full DNA software. So as far as software goes, between this and the PSM Pro, identical software. Both the 6 to 8. It's just, how much change do you want to do? But yeah, these would both be fantastic. If you want to see and feel a little bit more on this, stay tuned till tomorrow, and you can watch the video. We talk about it. Software is laptop based. It's not that iPad stuff. Thank God we've all kind of walked away from that, because I don't know, it was cool when we started it, but not so much anymore. Okay. Is Morel America's disappearance from Instagram because of politics? It has nothing to do with politics. There was a employee change, and the current employee has not been up to speed on the Instagram. So it has nothing. There's no politics. Most people don't know where Morel comes from. So, anyways, and if you're going to blame a speaker company on politics, man, you really need help. That is for sure. So, anyways, no, it's an employee thing. So they're training some new people, and one of the things that's been kind of kicked to the curb is the Instagram page. So, Arc 6 to 8, any thoughts? Okay, so you just saw my thoughts. If you want to know more, we talked about that. All right, sold. There you go. I'm ready for a big boy-ish. So the one nice thing about the 6 to 8 is it's cost effective. Okay, so I mean, it's not DSR1 pricing, because that thing's like $350. But I think retail it's $550. So we never really talk about pricing, but I'll give that one out because it's pretty reasonable. Still like Helix. Perfectly fine. You could totally like Helix. There's nothing wrong with Helix. Helix is a great product. I mean, it's fantastic. What? Bro, he just said nobody's perfect. What's on your head? That would be blood from where I hit it, Haley. Hood 1 Dean 0. Actually, yeah. Yep, right off the bat. Sounds right. Yeah, thanks. Can't wait for Helix update. I gotta be honest, I'm pretty excited about the Helix update too. I'm really looking forward to it because 6.0, because I want to listen. I want to love the Helix software. I really do. I love the Arc software. I love the Moscone software. I could go on a date with Audison and we could have a good time, but that's where it would end. Helix, on the other hand, It's just kind of like, don't get me wrong, we use it, it just doesn't click, man. We're on two different parts of the world. Jeff wants us to be in the same part, and I want to be in the same part. It's the input-output mixer drives me crazy. And then again, we had to do one the other day, and it was the input-output mixer that drove us crazy. So it gets us every time. Every time! It gets me every time!
The product is wonderful.
Oh, it is. It's a fantastic product. And the EQ part of it is fabulous. And we have a great time with it. Virtual channels do what it's supposed to do. Speeds up the process. I totally get it. It just always screws me up on input-output. So, anyways, have you had any experience with CDT audio speakers? No. I don't know. I will after the show. I got alcohol wipes. I'll wipe it up. It'll all be good. Anyone do an all Scar Audio build? Scar SQ build? I don't think you can. A Scar Audio SQ build. I don't really think you can. I mean, we've done a set of their flagship speakers, quote unquote.
We put the amplifier.
I just don't think they have the lineup to do that. I mean, it would be there. Well, no, I just don't think they have the speakers to do that. You know, to be an SQ, so to speak. I mean, it will be for somebody.
Right. There you go.
Just, you know. But I feel like at some point you will probably see something like that from them. So Helix looks easier for me. I mean, there again, it's what you know, man.
Yeah. Oh, like I said, the product is wonderful.
Yeah, no. And there again, if you understand it, keep in mind, like, we use like 6 or 7 different DSPs here. So a lot of DSPs have a very similar workflow. And once you're into that, and then there's somebody that throws you a softball that you're just like, hey, what is, and it just, so there again, I'm not worried about it. 6.0 is coming. That's one of the big things that they talked about. So as soon as we get our hands on it, I'm excited. We'll have some fun with it. We'll get Jeff on. We'll talk all about it. Everything will be great. Hola! Us Mexicans from Texas. Miss you guys. We will be in Texas this year. So Knowledge Fest is going to be in Texas. I don't know when. Sometime Dallas. They'll be in Dallas. Dallas is coming. So we're planning on going to that. So we will be in Texas. So kind of looking forward. How do the ARC and Moscone softwares compare with the JL as far as ease of use for tuners? So there again, to me, they're both very straightforward. JL, very straightforward. There's features on both that I like, on all of them, but it's also a lot of hidden features. And there again, just like on the Helix, we just haven't spent enough time with it to really grasp some of the intricacies of that mixer. Where and there again, everyone has their, like, if you could understand the JL mixer, you can understand the ARC mixer, because ARC gives you 2 different mixers. One of them is the JL mixer, and the other one is everyone else's mixer. So I mean, it's pretty straightforward from that point. As far as like input mixers on the Moscone, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, they literally just give you a colored box. You're using this box, yes, okay, you're done. So it is kind of strange, but easy. Is there a shortage in the Amp Pro GM71? Crutchfield is out and hit or miss on Amazon. Probably. I would not be surprised.
Paul bought all of them.
Yeah, Paul bought them. Do you need a DSP with the Zen module and an F-150 with B&O? Yes, I would strongly recommend some form of a DSP, because when you put in a Zen, an Amp Pro, an AR, or anything like that, you are stripping the DSP from the system. Okay, so your time alignment, your equalization, you're basically doing yourself the favor of getting back to a flat signal. Meaning it's just like a set of preamps coming out of a radio. So there is no equalization in there anymore. It just reverts you to the 3 basic bands, bass, mid, and treble. the thing that we figure out is that if somebody just hooks one of these things up, goes RCA, straight power out, and then they lose a lot of the life of their system, and then everything, like they lose the time alignment, so things just go to left and right. So yeah, I strongly recommend you get a DSP, whether you know how to use it or not, just so that as time goes on, you can really evolve the system, get it back to some of the functionality of the BO, meaning time alignment, center image, up high on the dash, those kind of things. You just can't do that with straight power and speakers. So 2023 Corolla JBL system. Want to add subs. Amp Pro? That would be a Sub Pro or an Amp Pro. Either one of them will do the trick. But yes, my favorite DSP is the Dayton. Yeah, it's clickbait, right? Any word on the availability of the integration module for the 2025 RAM or a temp workaround? 0 and 0. It's coming. That's all they say is it's coming. It's coming. I know. It sucks.
What's coming?
The RAM module. Do you mute the center channel speaker when you do a complete system replacement? I have enough amp channels to keep it. RAM 1500 Alpine Forza 12 channel. Yeah, keep it then. Totally keep it. The Forza amplifiers does have a basic up mixer in it, so you can retain the center channel. Totally. Ken talks about doing it all the time, so there's no reason to get rid of it. Keep it. Heck yeah, go to town. For sure. Does the Zen give you crossover settings? The Zen does not give you anything. It is a preamp only piece. There was originally talks of them adding that into it years ago, and the Mobridge piece, also who makes the Zen piece, does offer a DSP version of the module through Mobridge. So if you're looking for an all-in-one interface with DSP, you want to look at the Mobridge side of that company, not the Zen side of the company. So there is nothing in a Zen module. It's just preamp only. Preamp Toslink. Mobridge, who owns the Zen module, has a DSP version of that piece. 2019 WRX installed a kicker key 200.4, 500.1. I have a LC5i Pro from another build. Should I use it for Acubase? And if so, well, why? No, don't use it for Acubase. No, that's. First off, do you even need Acubase? So Acubase is to fix factory bass roll-off, okay? So if you're going to be tuning the system at 3/4 volume, the equalization in the key 500.1 is going to account for that level of bass. So when you're tuning the system at high volume, which is what you're going to do because that's how they ask you to do it, it's going to give you all the bass that you can get at high volume. Okay, meaning that's going to be as loud as it gets. As you turn the volume down, you're going to keep some of the punchiness because that's what loudness does, which is what Acubase is for, is that at lower volumes you still have impact in your music. That's what loudness is there for. So with something like a 500 watt amp, it's not going to matter. Like, here's as loud as it will be. Tune it for, get it as loud as it can, and then as you turn it down, it will go down, and it'll still be punchy and still be lively, just like the factory had intended, if it even has loudness, aka bass roll off. So I don't stress out about that. You're welcome. Love the truck build earlier. Oh, the truck builds from last week. Yeah. No, man, you're doing great. You're doing great, Fernando. Oh, his little legs hurt. All right. So, to recap, this is a 2022 or 3 Camry. We're going to be working on this for a couple days. He's working on the sound treatment in the back. I just got the power squared away. Tomorrow we'll come back at this, and hopefully we'll have some progress on the amplifiers and where they're going. Maybe have a plan for the radio. Maybe. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out later. But for right now, this has been brought to you by the fine folks from Morel. You guys have a wonderful day. Whatever that means. Grind it, bro.
No. You don't have to.
Totally have to. Good day, everyone. And welcome to day 2 of this Toyota Camry. working on the doors. Working on a door. Yep. Think we'll get this one done today?
This door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so. Because we still got 3 more. I know. Update on the Camry. So yesterday we updated the electrical system that was needing it. He had taken the battery out and moved it to the rear of the vehicle. There was no fuse here. We added a fuse, main fuse in boot, so that it could protect the wire running through the car, so that if anything happens to this wire, it doesn't burn the car to the ground. So we thought it was pretty important to put it there. Fernando has this door off today and is working on getting this potatoed up. That piece snaps into place here. We'll get the Morel Tempo Ultra in the door here soon, hopefully, fingers crossed. In the boot, as it were, here's the 2 batteries he had mounted in. We replaced the ground wire because it was CCA, and it was just like, did this whole like weird V shape. I like it better like this. We also added fuses into the rear. These are our system fuses. So this is going to go off to his Rockford T2500. This is going to go off the audio control LC61200. And the little one there is going to go off to the DM810 and Epicenter Micro. This is his main thing here. These are the main fuses, and so we added this room ball fuses to disconnect battery. Right now we have 1 fuse in just to power the car up. Yesterday we had the seats out of the vehicle. Today, since we needed to roll the windows back up, we put all the seats back in. So the 2 airbags here, the 2 seats here are back in the car, just so that he could get the windows rolled up so he can do the sound treatment, because we forgot to do that yesterday before we took it all apart. So that is a recap. Now today, some of the problems that we had to address today were, we're putting a DM 1058 in the dash, which is the new Kenwood single DIN 10-inch. It's a replacement for the 1057. We could put a direct replacement float screen or the 8-inch screen, making a custom dash bezel, which we're going to have to do anyways. He opted for the bigger screen, so Paul sold the 1058. We could have done the float as well. That would have been fine. Good afternoon. So fab work today was getting the dash figured out, as well as the speakers, tweeters going in the top of the dash, so that we could get that off of our plates. Last night before we left, I worked on the radio a little bit, because I was like, I kind of want to figure this out. I didn't want to think about it last night. So there is a dash kit for it that allows you to put in like a L chassis 7-inch or the 9-inch Pioneer. So we knew if anything we have that. I didn't think we needed it. I figured we could probably re-drill the factory metal brackets, which better move. Don't normally like to do that because it's a pain in the ass, but we did it anyways. So today we made the 10-inch float screen. So, and it's not screwed in yet, so I don't want to wobble it around. But this is a black acrylic panel. It says wired by 5-star. You'll never see that. It's just etched in. But this all screws into place. Uses the factory metal brackets. This screws into the radio. There's a screw there. There's also 2 more screws inside of the mount for the radio, but the radio goes in. It's all set and ready to go. Plenty of room. Very nice. It's just sitting here right now. It'll come off because none of it's wired up yet, which is cool. So we got that figured out. That was nice. Took that off our plates. And then the next thing was figuring out what are we going to do for the dash. Because it could be just a simple bracket, which is what we've done in the past in these. I went through my files and we had a file for this, and I was like, it's no big deal. We'll just make another one. But then I was thinking, we got time. I mean, the car's not going anywhere in the next couple days because this guy's going to be taking every day, putting in some sound treatment. So let's see what we can come up with. So we're kicking on the 3D printers, and this one is in the process right now of printing the panel. Now, as you know, I'm not a big fan of just printing something 3D without a purpose, because I could just cut that out on the laser in like 2 minutes. This is taking 42 minutes. So we came up with this design here. Let's take a look at that and see what it adds. So first off the bat, you'll notice that the tweeter has a tilt to it. It's higher on this side, lower on that side. We were able to, so we only had 0.3 inches to work with when we measure the factory speaker. So the factory speaker between the highest and lowest part is 0.3 inches. So we knew we had that. We need a lip for the tweeter, which is 0.1 inches. So basically what we were able to get is an extra 5 degrees of turn on the tweeter. Now the tweeter sits at an angle, so now we've turned it just a little bit more to aim the tweeter at us. The grill will come off before we're done, and it just, so you can see the turn on the back side. So this will go into place, countersunk the screw holes, which is the reason why this is like this, so that you have room for that bolt. So it's same thickness here on the inside. So this is the panel. This is what it looks like. I've already test fit it, goes right in. So we added just a little bit more. Sorry about that. It's kind of weird. It did. Anyways, we added just a little bit of turn to it so that it has a little bit more excitement. Looking at that on the computer, because that's what we want to see. Right? So there again, you can see that backside lip, and if we rotate around, you can see the front side lip. And if we go, let's try to get it like that, and we'll zoom in a little bit. And if we go over, if we come over here and we select object, and then 1, 2. So here's object 2 inside. So there's that 5 degrees that we were able to get inside of the 0.3 height. So that was just a little bit of extra fun and excitement for the piece to to actually give it a reason why I'm willing to spend 44 minutes or 40 minutes to print this, other than I got other things I can do. So, hey, good afternoon. Question: my car stereo fluctuates every time I use the power window. What do you think causes this? That's kind of scary. Power window motors do draw a lot of current, and they should be on their own circuit. Depending on the year of the vehicle, you may have a power window motor going bad. But that would be the first thing that would, off the top of my head, spending a ton of thinking about it. Do all the windows do it, or just one window? If it's all windows, you may need to find a better circuit to get the power from the radio from. It might be they for some reason put them on the same thing, and the radio circuit is drawing way more current than it was designed to. So you may need to relay and go out the battery to power that. Or you have a motor going bad. It's all. So yeah, you might need to find a better power source for that radio. Maybe a small 10 relay and just get power, from a different circuit. Hi, Elias. And no, will not be at Atlantic City. Haley is going to be graduating that weekend, so we'll be doing that instead. So, a bummer. Hey, Jeff, at the store now, thinking of picking up 2 of these audiotropic amplifiers, 4-channel and the 750 mile. Thoughts? Okay, so great amplifiers, budget friendly for sure, wonderful. The question I always have: are you hooking up to an aftermarket radio, or are you going to be hooking up to something else? The reason why I ask is because they're great. They have output, so you can go to an LC7i, an LC5i, LC2i, or an Epicenter Micro, or they have all that coolness out. However, you can sidestep all of that just going with the altitude, because the altitude has high level, low level built into them. So that's really the trade-off there. You pay a little bit more with the altitude. That's not an issue. Yeah, just do it. Yeah, you're fine. But yeah, other than a little better quality, the altitude has high leveling built into it. So, also, the other thing today, along with designing the brackets for the radio, is the actual harness for the radio. So this is going to be my data interface. This is our harness for the mid bass in the door and the rear doors. So this will plug in, and our wires will stick around to this, and this will easily unplug and plug back in, which is cool. It's a 6-channel. So, and then we'll put one more of these in the dash, which will be for tweeters. That's printed, will go in. Our harness these are our extra wires that we add to all our harnesses. So this is all ready to get into the vehicle. Your radio that we took the brackets off of. It's a great place to store my harness, so as I know where it's at. Fernando added on the door panel. Developing a background. Could be developing a background. Got the ARC Audio DSP. Thanks for your review. Oh, fantastic. That's up today, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was brutal last night because I was very tired. It almost didn't happen. I was so tempted not. Market head unit. Do you think I should add a center? Oh God, yes. You always have an epicenter. Always. Centers are awesome. I like them. I like them a lot. Anyways, so got that up today. That was rough. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.
It took a lot.
It take a lot. Dude, I took a nap, like a 15-minute nap. So like, no way I'm going to finish this. I just kind of close my eyes for like 15 minutes.
You
fill
put
up
the alarm, or you
No, I just right there took a nap. I charged my mouse. Mouse battery went down, like right in the middle of it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I mean, come on. I just want to get through this, and doing it on the trackpad is so much harder. It sucked. But no, it was cool. I forgot what we had filmed, even though we'd done it last week.
Mm-hmm.
So, we got something out of that. It's fun to watch it anyways, because it kind of goes a little deeper into DNA software. We talk about the plot, we talk about the input mixer, kind of show you how it works. We also touch on how to use a mixer as well as super bass, and kind of briefly touch on how those work and what they do. So that was kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Yeah. Does it seem like fun? You too could be a car installer. Just awesome. Funny thing, so we've been doing an experiment since last week. Little lights, these little like candle lights. Okay, and it's powered off of like a wire battery, and we've had them on here. I think a week now, right? Didn't we turn these on like Tuesday last week? On every day for a week, and they're still going strong. Like, unbelievable. Not for a car stereo, because we'll never use a car stereo, but I might use it for something else. Some of the weird stuff that I do. Like, for example, this. So this is Donald's. The next acrylic thing we'll be building is Donald's butt tuck in an inner tube. I'm pretty excited for this one because they're going to be multicolor LEDs that are going to reflect his colors. So like this will be white, this will be yellow, this will be white, this will be red, white, red, white. This is the actual size. This is the life size version of the butt, this butt area. So printed one at half scale. You kind of see what it looks like, and but will be the full size of his tushy. So this thing's going to be actually pretty big. That'll be fun. That's on by next week. I'm waiting for some acrylic because I need some sparkly white acrylic.
Next week?
Well, I mean, I don't think it'll be here this week. I just ordered it, so it'll take a week to get here. But hey, Fernando.
You just get the sparkling acrylic.
No, I got it, but I didn't get white. I didn't have white, so I found some quartz colored sparkly stuff.
Yes.
Hey, gotta go. Have a good afternoon. I like big butts. I cannot lie. I know you say that, Jeff. How are you? You said Morel's going in the car. Where can we learn more about them? You know, it's funny, Ang. I was just getting to that point to where I was going to pan the camera fully over to this guy, and then I was getting a shaking angle, and I was getting, Fernando.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Just doing this horrible job that I hate.
Hey, Fernando. What are you doing?
I'm just doing this horrible job that I
Bro,
hate.
you're not going to work with me here. You'd be like, I'm sound reading the door so that we can put awesome.
I'm doing this horrible job that I hate because we're gonna put a really nice speakers in this car. It's the Morel Ultras. That's right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Morel Ultras. It's fantastic.
Yes.
I actually have one in my car.
You do.
You know, they sound amazing. My car doesn't have an amplifier, but this is going to have nice setup, tuning, and everything. So
Full
it will
DP.
sound way better. So you wanna learn about the 10 Ultras? Go to morelhifi.com.
Or to our channel, we'll be unboxing and installation of the Morel 10 Ultras.
Go to morelhifi.com. That's the place that you can find the specifications for all your Tempo Ultra speakers. More. Also, they have Bluetooth speakers if you want a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah,
Like
the
the
Biggie.
right?
Yeah. Our boy was in States. I
That's
just got a
right. He's
Biggie.
like, I got a Biggie. It's fantastic. So, just customers are doing the review.
There you
Not
go.
us.
Yeah.
They are. But morelfi.com is prime.
Prime. Yeah. Place.
Is the prime of the sponsor of the 5 minute with. Sorry, guys. So, thank
There
you.
you go. It's a primary sponsor too. All right. What do you use to make custom speaker mounts and other custom install accessories? All right. That's a great question. Actually, 3 different ways that we make product for the vehicle. All right. The first one, my favorite is laser. We have a glow laser and we have an X-Tool laser. And both of these worked out to build different products. The second, which is probably the most popular, is our dual Solutions router table. So with these, we have the flush bit set and ready to go. This is a double. Normally there's a quad in here, but I took it out the other day. Haven't put it back in. And then I always have their mini round bit all set and ready to go. These are, as you can see, with plastics. Now, everything we build is just plastics. So we don't any wood. There's plastic today and a plastic cutting day. We haven't cleaned up yet at the end of the day. So we'll clean this. Will all be ready to go, spotless when we're done tonight, and we'll mess it all up tomorrow. But this area is number 2. Number 3, we have the front 4 because they run and they make a ton of noise. Just which is, I'd say, biggest craze. These are the 3 printers. So right now here in the store, we have 2 Bamboo P1S. Third one sitting on my dining room table at home. So if I need to, which I am doing most of the time, some modeling, some work. This is the bracket for the car we're currently working on. There's our new refrigerator because ours died. So that's it. Those are the 3 things that we use. You choose a brand of sound deadener. So really, what it comes down to is convenience as far as goes. Like we use Stinger because Stinger was convenient. They used to have a warehouse here. They had a warehouse for like 35 years. They since moved the warehouse, so we'll kind of see how that goes. We've been using the Stinger Roadkill stuff for years and years and years. But there's a lot of it out there that is really nice. If you want to learn about sound deadener, just head over to Resonx. It's like resonx.com. Nick Apostolo, fantastic job of taking down all of that. And he's very passionate about his products, testing. He's done way too much back end on that for me to even lost audio. Did you lose audio? Your phone? I don't know. Maybe not. Hit mute button. Nope. We're good. Okay. anyways, check out Rednecks. That's you can stop. It's annoying. So anyways, those are 3 types of tools that we use in order to bracket. We've also put, believe it or not, we taught a class on this not too long ago, and we put together 3 or 4 different products to kind of demonstrate how this could all be used. And we should probably do a video. But so this is hang on. This is the speaker here. This is what we use this guy. And the first thing we did was our routers. We took this on a piece of plastic like this and we routed it out and ended up with outside shape. And then we used the Mobile Solutions circle jig and we were able to get the inside circle with Mobile Solutions. Next, we used the product that we have called Trace. And Trace allows you to take this in a piece of paper and trace it out. And then with the tool, you can scan it and turn it into an SVG file. And you can import that into Laser. And then with the Laser software, we added in the circle here. Could have just drawn on the paper if we wanted to, but we used that. And then we used it to make these 2 circles and these 4 circles. So this is all done using the Glowforge software and then the Trace exterior shape. So it's not, you see, like, it's not perfect. It's a couple bumps and flaws and stuff, but it was done with a pen as opposed to actually drawing it in a CAD software. Now, from there, we did take it to CAD software and cleaned it all up. It looked spiffy, and we came up with this. Now, this is drawn in CAD, and we added in the shape for the range that was attached to it, terminal nutserts. So this would be a finished product. This is the so that the factory would come down on it, just like Slip has. So this would be our final laser made out of a piece. From there, we said, hey, what about 3D? So we took the CAD file and we imported it into the Bamboo software. And we came up with this guy here. Again, countersunk in the back for the speaker itself. Little bit different. You know, we were able to add these counter bolts into it that we can do with the laser. We could have done that. Had designed it a little different because we ended up putting 16th inch on the back, but I didn't. And then from there, we said, all right, well, you know, this took 2.5 minutes to cut. This took like 40 minutes to print. So could we do something that actually made it more worthwhile? That's where we came up with this guy, which very much like this car has a rake to it. So it has a turn, you know, it's angled. So we angled it to make it worth doing. Otherwise, it's like, these two are the same. We'll do this because this is faster. But this, we got some rake to it. So now we were able to angle the speaker, which actually might change the performance of the driver. So the 3 tools we use, here's a bunch of different examples of the same made on that one product. Sound fix. Fantastic. Anyway, hopefully that made sense. I know. How cool is that? I'm just waiting for that to be done so that I can put the speakers in, but run some wires.
So you want to do the mid-basses?
The mid-bass. We're not mid-bass.
No?
No. That bracket's right there.
Okay.
Yep. You're all set. Any recommendations for install shops in Southern California, Los Angeles area running active and tuning DSP? Who do we know in Southern California?
I mean, a lot of.
There's so many places in California, honestly, no idea. But
Mike?
what I can say is you got Mike Rios, Mike, Paragon Sound. If you're on Instagram, Paragon Sound, or Mike Rios. He's in a bunch of videos. Talked to him. We've interviewed his car. He's a rep in that area, and he would be able to help you. I would reach out to him and he should be able to find someone who can fulfill your niche or whatever you need done. So, yeah, should be easy. Audio systems is good, but I think they're more middle. I don't know. I don't know California that well. I've been there. I don't know where I was at. All right, so that's it. Day 2, Toyota Camry. It's in the bag for you guys. We're going to keep working. We got a couple more hours on this, so hopefully we'll get more of this done. We'll come on tomorrow, where we're at. You guys have a wonderful day. Fernando.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
It's a lot of bass.
It's a lot of bass. There's a lot of bass. So that is an MB enclosure. So apparently he got MB to make him a box. MB enclosures, fact, not fiction. Says that on the little cool piece there. So this is the Camry. It's done. We finished it. It came on yesterday because we were kind of trying to get this all taken care of. Big heavy box, hidden. Oh, you can't. So let me fold down the seats here. Grab me a light, please. So this has 3 amp racks in it. There's an amp rack underneath that seat, an amp rack underneath this seat, and then there's an amp rack behind this seat.
You see it?
Well, yeah. So there's one amp rack. That's the LC 61200. And then underneath this seat is the second amp rack, which is the DM810 and the Epicenter Micro. And then behind this seat is the amp rack. You can pull that down. This is the amp rack for the Rockford B22, the big 2500. What is it called? T2500.1 BD. That. So this is the amp rack for that. This was the funnest one because this thing is heavy and we had to come up with a pretty unique way to mount it. So there's a bolt here and there's a matching bolt here. And how this amp rack went in is it's actually suspended above the carpet. There's 2 aluminum pipes that go between the nutsert that's in the trunk into the floor, and it's holding this thing up, and then this is getting sandwiched between it. But I wanted it to sit, I wanted it to be mounted, but sit off of this. And so that has some give, which is cool. And then you only have to pull those 2 screws, and the whole thing lifts out of the area. But big amplifier. This is 1/2 inch to support the weight, 0 gauge, all that funness. Yeah. So big amp powering those subs. 8 gauge coming out of the amplifier off to those bad guys. BD stands for big dog. Yes, it does. So that's that. And then the radio, got the radio in place. So they do make a dash kit for this, but what we really wanted to do is put one of the new 8-inch direct replacement kits. You don't need that. But they don't make the kit, which I was like, no problem, we'll make it fit. Paul's like, no, he wants a big screen, so we ended up going with the the 1058. So this is the new 1058, new mounting brackets. So we made our own kit, so to speak. So right behind here it says, wired by 5-star. But yeah, the kit still moves, floats. Tucked it in as much as we could. But yeah, no, iData. So the direct replacement kit or radio would work in this, but you'd have to build your own mounting system because they don't make a mounting system for Toyotas yet. But we could still do it. So I could put the 8-inch in here, no problem. Make it look factory. That'd be really cool. That would have been really cool. I really wanted to do that. But hey, you want a big screen, you get a big screen.
That's right.
So There's my stereo, LOL. No, there you go. So that is in here doing that. Real quick, people always want to say, oh, what is the difference with a 1058? So it looks just like a 1057, right? I mean, it's very much like a 1057. Powers up, looks like a 1057, has all the features. But here's the new clock. So if you press and hold this, here are the new clocks you can choose from. So you have a bunch of different clocks. So that's kind of cool. And then if you go over into here is the new pitch and roll. And I think you can...
What?
You can tap
Yeah, you just
through
tap it to...
a car.
Yeah. I think just leave it as a Jeep.
No. I'll leave it as that. That's a car. So there you go. There's your new pitch and roll. Outside of that, everything is more or less the same. You know, when you get into like your audio features, this is the same audio features that the other one has. You know, you have your sound effects are the same.
Same thing.
So that all stays the same.
Mm-hmm.
I'll turn that on. But yeah, so there's the radio. Hit the little beeper. So this guy's done, thank God. So we're gonna get this out of here. I think he's picking it up tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but anywho, tuned it up. Sounds great. It's nice and loud. So I think that's what we're going for.
Thank you so much, guys. Everybody did great.
Everybody did great. Is that inside? Yeah, wipe that off. You gotta get the windshield.
Windshield off.
Yeah, the windshield is definitely my forehead. Lots of forehead hitting that windshield.
I have a big forehead.
Well, you know, and the back of my head. And I'll get this side. All right.
Beautiful.
Ah, it's freaking gorgeous. Hey, Fernando.
Yes.
What kind of speakers did we end up putting in here?
In this car, it sounds really nice because it has the Tempo Ultra 602s. It's a component set, and it has the Tempo Ultra coaxials. Made by Morel.
There you go.
Yeah, and you can find those speakers morelhifi.com. That's right, morelhifi.com. That's the place that you can find all you need about car stereo.
Wow. Wow, that was good, man. That was pretty awesome. Okay, so we're gonna load this car up with all its boxes. We got another car that's actually waiting. We're gonna start on, and then we'll pack it up for the night. It's almost 4 o'clock, which is cool. So we got like 2 hours left in our day. That's it. We wanted to come on and kind of like, boom. Should sound good and be loud. It is. It sounds really great. It's really loud. I don't know if it would make any sense to play it because all it's going to do is pop my mic. Did make noise, but it sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Lots of bass. MB did a fantastic job on this enclosure. It looks good. Looks good. Hits hard. Did the bolts. So the one pro tip. If you're going to do one of these boxes that has the bolts on it for instead of a speaker cup, which is understandable. Like there's 8 gauge coming out of that amplifier into the subwoofer, and then there's 10 gauge going to each one of the subwoofers. So it's very a lot of wire. But if you're going to do it, make your life easier. Make the wire that comes from the amp to the subs, make it big enough so you can deal with it on the floor out here. Okay. So in this case, when we need to get to underneath here where the batteries are, we can just pull this thing out, put a towel or something on the floor. We have a blanket, and we can set it over to the side. We don't have to disconnect it, so there's plenty of room to move things around to get to things if they need to get to them. But also, if we do need to disconnect it, we're not over the back of the box doing one of these things trying to. No, you can just easily pull it out, set it onto the ground. So that would be your pro tip: is that if you're using those nuts. These nuts! Make sure you leave enough room to properly remove it from the vehicle. That would be key. That would be key for sure. Outside of that, if you're in California, go see Bobby Gately. He's out at some BMX thing doing some killer demos.
Yeah.
Head over to his channel, check it out.
Yeah.
I watched it today.
Fantastic.
And then tomorrow's Saturday, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.